Alright guys, we're just doing a couple plug welds over here. Now that we got the door on there, like we're happy with. Love that door. That gap is just like perfect now. I'm not too concerned about what the gap is looking like down here because that's the old rocker that's all beat to shit, so we won't even worry about that right now. But yeah, I just want to do get a couple plug welds in here. Got one there and one up in there. Get one up in there, and then we should be okay. I've had this. I took a measurement before, like I say, and chunk lid's going to have a decent gap, I believe. I'm not too worried at this end if the gap isn't perfect, because when I cut all this apart, it's going to move anyway. So, but again, you know, I did get measurements. I didn't show that. Remember, guys, always take measurements. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's up to you. Some people like to tape measure, some don't. I'll be quite honest with you. I probably only use the tape measure 50% of my time when I'm building a car. I use it definitely when I want to measure gaps like I did here, and then I write it down on a notepad. I keep a notepad. I make notes on yellow tape like you saw in the car. But sometimes when I'm just cutting a piece of metal, I'll just hold it up there and I'll look and I'll think, oh, I need like 1 inch by 3 inches, and I'll just cut it on the ground. And I get it pretty damn close, and I just trim it to what I need, and boom. But you're right. Maybe if I'd measured it, I'd only cut it once, but that's okay. I'm just saying on stuff like that, I'll just grab it, cut. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, lining it up, I try and get the best measurements I can. I can't get absolutely 100% perfect measurements off this car anyway, because there is no floors, there is no quarter panels, there is no rockers, there is no trunk floor. It's all rotted away. So the car is moved and settled and done what she's going to do. So, you know, all you can do is, well, get yourself the best gaps you think you want, leave yourself a little room, and just play, because remember, things are going to change when you do bolt it down solid on the frame. So that's what we tried to do here, and at the end of the day, it's all going to be okay. I ain't worried about it. Doing this for 30 some odd years, and I think I got it under control. Okay, I'm going to get back to it. Okay guys, what we're doing next here is, before we get too carried away with all the welding back here and welding down in here, we're going to fit the tail light. A lot of people neglect trying things. You got to fit stuff. You just have to. You have to make sure it's going to fit. So I'm going to fit the tail light. I can't really hold the camera. I'm in a stuck area here, but I'm going to try and hold that up in there and see what goes on, and actually literally, you know, get at least a screw or two in place, and just to make sure everything's lining up good. Okay, so here we are. I set tail light in. I did a couple mods when I set down. So I don't know, you probably can't see that, but that screw hole's lining up, that screw hole's lining up, oops, and that one there is lining up. This one hasn't got one because it isn't drilled in a new quarter. But before I could get that to line up, what I had to do, this tail light was sitting way up. So I had to do some tapping down in here, which I'll clean this up after. This lip is too thick to begin with. I'm going to trim this lip back. Had to tap that down a bit. Now then, this was not cut out here like this, so I was still going to make this a little tidier, but the light wouldn't go in. So now what our next problem here is that we're lining up the screws, everything's fitting a lot better, except we're hitting up in here. Now this ring, when I originally put it on, sat beautiful on the bottom, but had a huge up in here, sat up like a ½ inch. Now it's come down to this, you can see there. And that is all due to this hitting up in here. So we're going to tweak that a bit next, and then we're going to refit this. This is why I always say, don't just weld the quarter on, walk away, give it to the body man. He does the body work. He paints the car, you take it home, you go to put your tail lights on, or your trunk, or your doors, or whatever, and it's like anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch out, and then you're back at the body shop, and what are you doing? You're blaming him. You're blaming him because you brought him a car in pieces, and you said, I fitted everything, I welded everything, just paint it, I'll take it home, put it together, because I'm trying to save some moolah, which is all fine. But honestly, at the end of the day, we as a shop like to see, at least if anything, bring it to us, put together, we'll take it apart for you. At least we get to see it together. Then we'll paint it, and you can save the money and put it together yourself. But without, when you bring it to us in pieces, and this shit is what happens, then you blame us. It's like, hey, I got one Ford for you, right there. The big, you know, right there. That's the word I got for you. Because that's not our problem. So that's why I suggest that, you know, make sure you try fit everything, and if you're gonna take it to a shop and you try and save a little money, at least give it to them put together. You know, it doesn't have to have every single bolt in it, but give it to them put together so they can make sure all the lines and gaps are what you say they are. They can blow it apart, they can paint it, and you can put it together and save yourself the money. Just a friendly tip. Okay guys, so we've got this all plug welded in. We've got the tail light fit. I'm just grinding down some of the welds. Some people will weld everything up and they'll do the grinding in the end. For me, believe it or not, sometimes I just need a break from welding and I like to stop and grind some welds. So I don't want to tell you. So I'm just getting the plug welds off of there. I've got it all welded up solid here. This is of course where the lead was originally, which, you know, will not be lead now. It'll be a, we'll probably put a fiberglass in there. You know, we use Everglass products, or it's called Everglass. So that's what we'll put in there. And then you'll fine tune it with your putty or filler. Still got to do all the welding down here. Got to get this, like, that joins in here, right? And I don't know if you can see, this to that, yeah. And then you should have a seam showing here, which, well, you don't have one because I'll bondo it over. But honestly, I'm going to weld the seam up. I'm going to put some spot welds or plug welds in there. I'm going to weld the seam up. I don't want the seam here. I just want it smoothed off down here. And then I got to address this a little bit. This is a little bit out of whack right here, so I got to play with that a bit. But I'm going to do a little more grinding here. And then I'm going to address this, try and get this done today. So if I get that done, then my next step I got to get done today too is I'd like to get this all plug welded, which are only 4 or 5 plug welds. Maybe I'll even go on that next. I don't know, we'll see. And of course I got to make a little piece for something in here. It doesn't quite fit right, so. Then, obviously like I told you, the quarter is all loose and floppy here, and that's because the back of the rocker and the back of the quarter are part of the new floor pan I buy. So that's just going to be wobbling around until I get the floor pan in there. But back here, it's actually, there's a brace that goes there. So I've got it. It's not really a brace. It's, it was here somewhere. What I should do is clean this car out. It's just been a dumping ground for me. I just been dumping shit in it, and I'm probably losing half my shit because there's no floors. Anyway, this piece, which anyone that knows Tri-Five Chevys will know, this piece attaches. You remember I did the, I did like the outer wheel well there. Well, here, actually, you can see it. Can you see it through here? You see that right there? This attaches to that, and then the quarter panel attaches to it. So that's kind of your brace. I'll just put that back in the dumping ground, and we'll deal with that another day. So after I get that done, really, honestly, I'm going to start probably on this rocker panel. That's my next step, but I do not see the rocker happening today. But that's okay, because I'm happy. I've got the door fitted. That was a lot of work. Quarter will be welded up, done, as far as we can go on it. And yeah, we're rolling. Oh no, we're a ways away on the quarter. Fuck. So they give you these quarters. This here, you can see these little slots. This is supposed to be bent over. And this is bent over because that's what your window fuzzies go in. All that has to be bent over. And you can see I've done my tape line nicely around here. I did that during the week when you guys weren't with me. And that is where I got to bend it over at. And how do I know that? Well, I can copy the other side. But, you know, I kept an old piece there. So I gotta deal with that too. That's going to be like an inside job. And what I mean by inside is I got to get in the car and do that. So I think then what's going to happen, we're going to finish welding that up. And then we're going to address cleaning this car out a bit inside. And putting a board or something in here because there's nowhere for me to go. Because anywhere I go, I'm just going to fall right through. Apparently. Yeah. Yeah, this was one of my wiser buys in life, I think. But that's all right. I'm super stoked because honestly, go back on the video last weekend, on last Sunday, when the quarter panel wasn't on, and tell me now if this car doesn't already look like a fucking 100 times better. You know, I mean, shit, if I unbolted that trunk lid, which is garbage, and put my other trunk lid on there today, holy Christ, are we coming along? We are going. We are rocking and rolling. And so speaking of rock and roll, I'm going to crank up the tunes and get to it. Could probably sell that on Craigslist. Call it a rebuild. Right? Anyway. What the hell, guys? Let's see if we can't at least get the rocker. I'm running low on time here. We've done a lot today, but let's see if we can't get at least this new rocker set up in here. Tacked a couple tacks there and a couple tacks there. And then we call it a day. I'm almost near my dinner time, but I'm happy. So I ended up, like I say, got all. Oh, someone had asked me. Someone asked me in a video. They said, Rick, this plate, does it not screw to like another, like to a plate in behind it? You don't have to weld that in. And in the video, I did show it. It was hanging there. It's attached to the car, and these plug welds are attached to that. And what I did was when I put the quarter panel on, I screwed this latch on. If you go back and watch the video, you'll see it. I screwed this latch on, which sucked that plate where it should be in place, and it got plug welded, okay? So it's got plug welds on it. So that plate is in there. I can take this out, I can move it around, I can do whatever I want with it, and that's good. And of course, we've got these plug welds going up there. So yes, there was a plate in there. Feel free to ask some questions. I can't answer them all, guys. A lot of times, all I write to you guys is thanks a lot and have a good one, bud, and stuff like that. If I wrote back to every single person, answered everything, man, I'd get no work done during the day. This is just how it is. That's the realistic world we're in. I don't do these YouTube videos to try and make money like a lot of other guys are out there doing. I just do them for the joy of it, to show you what I'm doing, and for some of my customers. But you know, I don't make no money out of it. I've only got like 16 or 17,000 followers, which I find odd. I would think that I would have a lot more, but whatever, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. And I do these videos because they're good reference. If I ever go to sell this car, I can say, hey, I got pictures, but I've also got videos. Go on YouTube, check it out. So anyway, we got all that. I didn't make this little piece yet. I still got to do that. We got all that done, plug welded up. We got it. We got our weld in here on this. You know, we got her cleaned up along there. That's all done. We fitted the tail light one more time. It fits nice. It's going to need, I'll be honest with you, it's going to need a teeny bit of filler right here. Not a lot. but just a little bit. Like I'm talking like, oh, I don't know, not much, not much. It's gonna need like right here. So this is why you don't sweep the floor. It's gonna need like the thickness of that, a filler. Put just right up there on the very peak for the tail light. So here we'll keep that. That might come in handy one day. Yeah. So I'm gonna try and at least get this rocker off here. I'm not worried. Nothing's gonna move. The car was already braced up a long time ago. I'm gonna try and get the rocker off, and maybe we can get this one tacked on. We'll try. But if not, that's where we're going next week. We're gonna go there, and we got to go here. I didn't feel like addressing this right now. I just thought I would tackle the rocker because it would be nice to see it with the rocker just sitting in there, because then we got a door, a rocker, a quarter. Holy shit. Cut almost one side complete. And again, I am cutting out the wheel wells. I'm cutting it out, don't worry, but that's at the very, very end. I'm not going to do that till all the floors are in it, all that. I'm just not going to do that right now. I want it to be strong, structural wise, before I start just cutting a quarter panel that's just like, I don't want to be cutting a quarter panel that's got no floor, that's just wobbling around like that right now. That's not a wise thing to do, at least not for me anyway. Maybe for somebody else, but not for me. Where is my ground? Mother. Oh. Okay. We don't want to get too carried away here, guys. Oh, but there we go. Hell yeah! Give me the big hell yeah! We tacked the rocker in place. Got the old one cut out. What was left of it? Let's see how we're doing here when the door closes. Okay. Look at that. You hear that? Just like butter. Just like butter. Look at that line. Look at that line. Hell yeah. Look at that gap. Woohoo! Now, there ain't got no rubbers in here, so the door's gonna, you know, and you got your little door stops that go there. So, I just kind of pulled the door out where I think it's gotta be. Let's look what we got. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the key is you want to make sure that the door is in line with the rocker. You don't want the rocker back, you don't want the rocker forward. Now if you get it a little bit back or forward, there is adjustment in the door for back and forth, but we've already adjusted this door with the original rocker on here, what was left of it, and we were happy with it. So from there I took measurements again, and you can even see here's a red, that's my center line for that. And behind here I made another red mark, which was the edge of the original rocker. And then I got measurements of the tape measure, which you didn't see me do because I wasn't going to tape all that, but the way the camera's filming here, but the door gap is even all the way across. I love it. Let's stand back and look at this old girl. Oh, let's turn the welder off because we are done. We are done. I always unplug things. I don't leave things plugged in. You never know. This is an old shop. Could be a fire. Won't be a fire though. It's got all new updated wiring, but I still have to unplug things. Take a look at that. Look at this car. Holy shit. Holy shit. Would have been even great today if I would have got the trunk lid on. But yeah, I just I didn't dig it out to do that. It's pissing down rain outside. I didn't feel like going to grab it. The door was enough today. Jesus, that's where we started too, wasn't it? We started with the door. Oh, So the rocker's just tacked in. We're going to be finishing that off next time. I'm see you guys next Sunday. We'll be doing this. We'll be getting the rocker in, and then we will address all up in here with bending these down and getting them in position, bending them up, bending them sideways, bending them any way possible. Now you're probably like, well, how are you going to bend that? Well, I've got an idea how I'm going to do it. I've been thinking about this ever since I put the tape on here. Because, honestly, I told you guys I've never done a full quarter. Honestly, I don't even know why they wouldn't have came bent down. Like, honestly, that's just fucking ridiculous. But anyway, part of me thinks I should have maybe bent these over before I put the quarter on. I'm not sure there. But it don't matter. Because if there's a will, there's a way, and I have the will, and I have the way. We're going to deal with it. We're going to deal with it. I think I've got a plan here, but I'm not going to tell you my plan yet, because I like to sit at night and think about my plan. Because what if my plan is wrong, and then I look like an idiot? But, so I like to think things through carefully before I say what's going to happen. Yeah. So. I'm happy at this thing today. Like, oh my God. That just looks like a whole new car. Tell me now. Now is it worth fixing? Now all you naysayers, not on YouTube, but all the naysayers out there that thought, I wouldn't fix that, I wouldn't do that. Now you wouldn't? New quarter, wheel tub, rocker, door. Still needs floor, still needs trunk pan, still needs the other rocker. I do have the other door, that I'm not worried about. So, I don't know. I've got a lot on my list this winter I want to do. There's a lot of people out there saying, you ain't going to get all that done. Well, yeah, well, you ain't going to get nothing done either sitting on the sofa watching TV every day, are you? I'm out here doing it all the time. So I will get it done. So there you go. But with that being said, it's Christmas. Wednesday, I guess. Best holidays, January 2nd, when all the shit's over. But anyway, it is Christmas. And I will see you guys before then. I will probably see you on Monday or Tuesday. I will throw a video up wishing you all a Merry Christmas then. Give you a little shop update, show you what's going on. We're going to be, tomorrow's Monday, I'll be working on the Falcon. Yes, I'm working tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. Normally I don't work Mondays, but I'm going to work this Monday just for the fact that I'm taking off Christmas Eve at 1 p.m. We're shutting the shop down. So at 1 p.m. I'm not here, then I'm not here Wednesday. So, you know, when holidays fall in the middle of the week, I will work the Monday. So I will be out here working tomorrow, after the gym, of course. So I'll be out here at 10 o'clock, and I'll be going to probably, tomorrow I got a lot. I'd like to get all the Falcon addressed, so I'll probably be out here till at least 6 o'clock tomorrow night, which that's all right. But hey, God, I can't stop looking at it. Look at that. Just look at that. It's a car again. It's a car again. And then you walk around the other side and you're like, ooh. Or you open the doors and you're like, ooh. So glad. All right, guys, hey. It's always a good time at Old Time, especially on Sunday Fundays. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Catch you tomorrow or Tuesday.